We've all been there, right? Caught right in the middle of a project battlefield with conflicting orders just flying at you from every single direction. Your end user is screaming for one feature, your CEO wants the complete opposite, and your direct supervisor, oh, they just want it done yesterday, and hey, maybe make it transparent. You feel like you're being pulled in a dozen different directions, and if you try to please everybody, you don't get a masterpiece. No, you get a Frankenstein project all stitched together and absolutely guaranteed to fall apart. So that's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? When everyone has an opinion, whose voice actually matters? It's a super frustrating spot to be in, I get it. But stick with me here, because today, we're going to build the map that's going to lead you right out of that chaos. And here is the most crucial place to start. Not all customers are created equal. Seriously, trying to be a people pleaser when you're running a project is just a recipe for failure. The key isn't to listen to everyone, it's to strategically figure out who truly matters the most. So to figure that out, we first need to get on the same page about what a customer even is. And in the world of Lean Six Sigma, well, that definition might be a whole lot broader than you think. So according to the formal Six Sigma definition, a customer is literally anyone who uses the work that you do. Now, this isn't just the person buying the final product. It's also the very next person in your internal process, the one who depends on your output to get their job done. And this breaks down into two fundamental types. You've got your external customers, the people outside your organization who are using the final product. But then you also have internal customers, the people inside your organization, like a whole other department who need your work to do theirs. Both are absolutely critical to success.
Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's tackle the big one first, your external customers. How do you decide who to prioritize when you could have thousands of them? Well, we're going to use a really powerful idea called the Pareto principle.
This is the classic phrase that just sums it all up perfectly. The Pareto principle basically says that for a lot of things in life, roughly 80% of the results come from just 20% of the causes. Or, in our case, something like 80% of your profit often comes from just 20% of your customers. Now think about that. These people are your vital few, your primary customers. They're the big spenders and their requirements. Those are your marching orders. Everyone else, they're the trivial many. You can deal with them later. Or honestly, maybe not at all if what they're asking for clashes with your core mission. All right, now let's switch gears and see how this same thinking applies to your internal customers. It's so easy to forget about them, but trust me, ignoring them can bring your entire operation to a grinding halt. I want you to think of your work like a value stream, almost like a relay race. Department A produces an output. That's the baton. Department B takes that baton and does their part. Then Department C takes it from them to finally serve the external customer. See how that works? In this chain, Department B is the customer of A, and C is the customer of B. So here's the bottom line. This entire value stream completely collapses if that handoff isn't seamless. If you make the external customer happy, but you create a living hell for your internal process, the project is going to fail. It's just a matter of time. You have to win over your internal customers too. Now, whether we're talking about your internal or your external customers, there's another really critical distinction we have to make, and that is separating what they say they want from what they fundamentally need. Let me give you a powerful example. Just picture an emergency room for a second. When a patient comes in, what is their single most important, most critical need? Just think about it for a moment. It's not a comfy waiting room. It's not even how fast they get seen, even though those things are nice. The core, the absolute non-negotiable need, is survival. Everything else is secondary. This core need is what Six Sigma calls the critical to quality characteristic, or CTQ for short. In that ER example, the CTQ is keeping the patient alive. A great medical team will always sacrifice comfort, which is a want, to ensure survival, which is the need. Your job is to find the CTQ for your customers. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Internal versus external customers, the vital few, needs versus wants. So now let's put it all together into one simple, powerful tool that will take you from total chaos to absolute clarity.
So we've talked about these different layers of segmentation, right? Sorting customers by whether they're external or internal, figuring out who is primary versus who is secondary, and also recognizing those other stakeholders who have an interest in the project. And here's how it all comes together in what we call your customer matrix. Just think of it like a target. Right there in the bullseye, those are your primary customers, the vital few who really drive your success. In that next ring out, you've got your secondary customers. And in the outer ring, that's where you put all the other stakeholders.
This is your map. This tells you exactly where to focus your limited time, money, and energy, right on the center of that target. So the next time you feel like you're being pulled in 10 different directions, you're not going to have a meltdown. You're going to have a map. The only question left is, who are you going to listen to first?